opportunity to vote for the candidates they would like their party to put on the ballot in November.
Voters show up, cast their ballot, and leave. The person who wins the vote in both the Republican and Democratic primaries will be on the ballot for the general election in November. That election decides who takes office. The rules of a primary election are laid out by individual states and the political parties within those states.
How often can they change the rules?
Too many times. They can change it as much as they want, right? And they have, right?
New Hampshire is usually the first state to hold a Democratic primary in the race for president.
New Hampshire, in fact, has on the books a law that says we're always going to be the first primary state.
But not in 2024.
President Biden did not want them to go first. And so the DNC passed some.
Live from KSAT 12, the 6 o'clock news starts right now.
Making the most out of a second chance. It is a KSAT follow-up 3 years in the making. I share the story of a man who went from prison to promotion and now a national honor.
Plus, it is game night SA, and our Spurs are on the road, kicking off their regular season against the Dallas Mavericks. Our Larry Ramirez will join us live from Big D in moments to get you ready for tonight's game.
And the focus is on Friday night for showers and storms. We'll talk about how long the storms are going to last, how much rain we could get, and the primary impacts in just a bit.
And thank you so much for joining us here on the 6 o'clock news. I'm Ernie Zuniga.
And I am Myra Arthur. You know, it is not the postman checking your mailbox at midnight. Mail theft is a big problem in San Antonio.
Yep, and it is leading to more concerns about fraud and identity theft. Our Garrett Berger takes a look at the steps city officials are taking to try to stamp it out.
Will come out, and this whole thing is just out in the open.
Louis Barr is the head of the Hart Ranch HOA on the northwest side, where they've had their share of issues with mail theft.
As you can see at the top, it's all bent, scratched.
Mail theft's a concern for everybody, but the thing about these cluster mailboxes is, if you defeat the main lock, all of a sudden they've got access to a dozen or more people's mail.
It's every day trying to figure out, did I get my mail?
And for the thousands of mail theft reports the past few years, SAPD has logged only a handful of arrests.
A lot of times the arrests that we usually encounter are the in progress,
District 7 Councilwoman Marina Alzarete-Gavito asked for a task force to address the issues. Much of what's come out of it is about public awareness or information, whether for sharing tips like picking your mail up the day it's delivered or about the Postal Service's informed delivery.
You can sign up on the USPS website, and that lets you know when you have mail that's coming to your location.
There's also a CPS Energy program, all-night security lighting, that neighborhoods can apply for. And the city staff recommend adding a lighting requirement near cluster boxes into the city code. But after a theft, there's still the issue of the damaged or at least beaten boxes. Replacing them can be expensive.
They run about $1,400, $400 to put in.
The Postal Service told us customers have to maintain, repair, or replace their mail receptacles.
I'd also like the city to work with our federal counterparts to advocate for USPS to cover the costs of replacing the cluster mailbox units.
Barr's HOA has already upgraded most of their boxes on the HOA's dime.
Put your finger down through there. That's steel. They're not doing nothing down through there.
But District 8 Councilwoman Evelise Mesa-Gonzalez has also announced she's set aside $10,000 to help neighborhood associations in her district replace mailboxes or install lighting. But if you're unlucky enough to have to deal with mail theft, SAPD says you should report it to them and the Postal Service.
Getting mail delivered to your neighborhood or your house, it's pretty convenient. But if you are looking for alternatives, Pachata Pope has what you need to know about P.O. boxes.
Post office boxes or P.O. boxes are available for rent at the post office. To find out how to get one, you can visit your local post office and someone at the retail counter can walk you through the steps. Or you can go online at USPS.com. Keep in mind there are different sizes of P.O. boxes, extra small to extra large, and they even have a parcel locker for big packages. And many post offices allow 24-hour access, that's day or night. So what are some of the benefits of renting a P.O. box? For Benjamin Fairbank, is being able to skip the process of an address change.
Well, I knew I was only going to be living in San Antonio for a fairly short time, and it seemed like a practical way to get my mail.
But as you can guess, mail security is the main benefit. Robert Wood says seeing a neighbor's mailbox targeted was enough for him.
I saw a neighbor have his mail taken out of his mailbox. Security is everything, you know. You have important mail coming into your mailbox. It's better for you to have it in the P.O. box than it is in your mailbox because it's just safer.
Stephanie Abrams says it's the same for business mailboxes.
We have customers sending us information. It's just not always, reliable that it'll actually stay in that box until we get it. So the P.O. box is great for that.
On the downside, it's an extra cost that can go up.
Regardless of the pros and cons, everyone we spoke with say they just want to make sure they're the ones opening mail addressed to them. Bashada Pope, KSAT 12 News.
It was a traffic stop that led to the arrest of a suspect in the murder of a local boxer. This is 25-year-old Jeremiah Williams. Our cameras were there as he was being escorted to jail this afternoon. This is the victim of that murder. 18-year-old George Ramos was shot and killed in June of 2019. San Antonio police arrested Williams just a few hours ago. And while officers say he is the only suspect in this case, their investigation is still active. Right now, we're still working to learn Williams' relationship with Ramos.
All right, we are now 9 days into the trial of 3 former San Antonio police officers accused in the killing of Melissa Perez back in 2023. So today, the medical examiner who performed the autopsy on Perez took the stand. During his testimony, Dr. David Lynch revealed that Perez had only been hit twice by the officer's bullets. Now, earlier testimony from a crime scene investigator showed that former officers Eleazar Alejandro, Alfred Flores, and Nathaniel Villalobos shot more than a dozen times that night. If found guilty, all 3 officers face up to life in prison. The testimony is expected to continue tomorrow morning, and we are live streaming this trial gavel to gavel. You can watch it on all of our streaming platforms and KSAT.com.
The GPS monitor will be removed for a man connected to Brad Simpson. James Cotter is the longtime business partner of Simpson. He's the Almost Park man accused of killing his wife. Cotter was charged in connection to that case. James Cotter is facing charges of tampering with evidence with the intent to impair an investigation and possession of prohibited weapons. In court today, Cotter's attorney, for a second time, asked for his client's ankle monitor to be removed, and this time the judge said yes. Investigators believe that Cotter helped Simpson after Simpson was accused of killing his wife, Suzanne, who has not been seen since October of last year. It is not clear where the case against Cotter goes from here. Simpson's trial date, meanwhile, is set for February 13th.
The filing window for candidates to run for office in next year's midterm elections is opening up on November 8th. And one person who was thought to be running for Bexar County District Attorney has decided not to, and that is District Court Judge Ron Rangel. So he sat down with KSAT 12 this morning to say that at this moment, the timing is not right for he and his family. Rangel was recently reelected to his 5th term as 379th District Court Judge and said he plans to complete that term.
I think it's important for me to continue doing what I'm doing in this position. My term will end in 3+ years, and when that term ends, obviously then I'll have an opportunity. As long as it's the right time for my family, it would be an opportunity for me to explore another type of office.
Now, back in June, the current district attorney, Joe Gonzalez, announced that he would not be seeking re-election.
Let's get a quick check of the roads out there right now. This is the view of traffic at Loop 410 at Callahan. The westbound lanes have been pretty steady over the last hour. That really seems to be where the majority of the traffic is. But good news, no major backups at this hour.
All right, the wait is over. Tonight is the night. The San Antonio Spurs are back in action, officially kicking off their regular season.
And they get to do it on the road against a familiar foe, the Dallas Mavericks. Larry Ramirez joining us live now from Dallas ahead of tonight's action. Hey, Larry.
Hey guys, yeah, we are getting closer to game time, and I am excited for it. So the Spurs and Mavericks, they are all set to face off right here at the American Airlines Center. And I'll tell you what, this is the first of 4 regular season meetings between the Texas rivals, and they usually have some pretty good games. Now, the young players like Spurs guard Dylan Harper and Mavs rookie Cooper Flagg will get their first taste of this Southwest Division rivalry. The Spurs and Mavs have had some epic battles over the years, and now some fresh, young, talented players to try to keep that tradition going. going. So what advice did Dylan's dad and former NBA player Ron Harper give him for tonight?
I mean, just have fun, be me. I mean, all the hard work I put to get here, he said, why kind of shy away from the moment and just be me always. You on the floor. I mean, just even like preseason games is like, I know what, like I remember what it was like a year ago, me being in them seats watching finals basketball, playoff basketball from the stand aspect. So just being on the court now is great.
I'll tell you what, have fun. That is pretty good advice right there. That's what it's all about. Coming up later in sports, we got to go one-on-one with Carter rookie Bryant. Carter Bryant, he's a rookie. You'll hear from him tonight later in sports. Guys, back to you.
All right, Larry, thank you. You know, it is seemingly never ending. We are talking about the ongoing construction on a lot of downtown streets right near La Villita and Hemisphere.
As our John Paul Barajas explains, it's a slowdown in traffic that has nearby businesses closing their doors.
If you look at where our building is, you actually can't even see our building because there's a fence in front of it.
The South Alamo construction project from East Market to Cesar Chavez has been hit with delay after delay. The city broke ground in 2022, and crews are supposed to be done by December of 24, but now hope to be finished by the spring of 26.
I always thought it would be nice to have another location somewhere else.
Project is something Kunstler Brewing owner Vera Deckard has lost faith in.
This street is going to be finished at this time, and then, 2 weeks later, we get an extension and an extension.
This is the entrance to Kunstler Brewing's tap house at Hemisphere. The problem is their sidewalk leading to their entrance has been completely fenced in due to construction. Kunstler's tap house and other Hemisphere businesses do have accessibility, but that's if you know how to navigate the maze that is Detours. Unfortunately for this tap house location, their last day was this past Sunday.
It's sad. In the end, it's business. It's hard to look at the numbers and realize, how much you put into it.
Deckard is now solely focusing on their brewery on the south side, which will soon hit 8 years of service. As for the Kunstler location along South Alamo, that opened just a few weeks before the start of construction and only lasted about 3 years.
What is not a great day of sales, but this is what we should be hitting or trying to maintain?
Trying to maintain would have been $1,500
a day.
And that's not a lot. And we have $50 and $60 days.
And the tap house and Hemisphere establishments aren't the only ones struggling to bring in customers.
Do y'all know how to get to La Villita, or the other side?
Oh, La Villita.
It's just across the street. Do you know how to get to the other side?
I don't know how to get to the other side. We're trying to figure it out, but we have been there before, and it's really nice.
And along with businesses at Hemisphere, we've also been in communication with businesses at La Villita and also in Southtown. They too are concerned about being able to keep doors open. As for construction delays, the city says mainly those have been due to underground unforeseen utility conflicts. We have reached out to see what exactly that meant and to get more elaboration on what those conflicts were. We are still waiting to hear back. Again, their new finish date for this construction project here along South Alamo is the spring of 2026. Myra, Ernie.
All right, we're going to mark our calendars. Thank you, John Paul. Still ahead on the news at 6, my reunion with someone I interviewed 3 years ago. He's a man grateful for a second chance who now wants to help others who have been where he was. The story of Don Christian is next.
we're back now. KSAT Community is stepping up to help raise funds for Meals on Wheels to help those who are at risk of losing those meal deliveries on October 27th. So happening tomorrow, we'd love for you to join us for a KSAT Community Phone Bank. It starts during GMSA at 5 a.m. and runs all the way through 7 p.m. And your phone call can make a difference. It's a chance to help seniors in our community to get the food they need.
I know for a fact people could change. You know what I'm saying? Looking at change, right, Chuck?
That is Don Christian. I met him in 2022 when he was part of a KSAT Explained story I did on second chance hiring. That's when employers hire someone who's previously been in jail or prison. Well, Don's boss reached out to me recently to let me know what he's doing now. And I thought his second chance was definitely worth a second story.
It is so good to see you. 3 years since I first met you?
Yeah.
What has changed in 3 years?
I got me a house. I'm in school. I made the National Society of Leadership and Success. So I'm doing good. I'm doing pretty good.
That's amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you.
What's it mean to you to be able to say all of that?
It means a lot. It means a lot. I mean, you know, ain't nothing possible without God, but I done had some help. I had a lot of people in my life that helped me out. Mom, for one.
3 years ago, when we first met Don, he was working at Toyo Tetsu, a plant that makes Toyota parts. It was Don's first job after spending 23 years in prison.
I ain't never killed nobody, around nobody. I sold drugs, you know what I'm saying?
Don told us then that his mom was his motivation.
She never doubted me. She never made me feel like she disowned me or, you know, she always looked at me like, you can do this. I said, you know, when I get another chance, I'm gonna make it up to her and show her that, you know, I am who she raised me to be.
You've been smiling this entire time. What's it mean for you to sit here and to talk and to see, better yet, your son's success?
I am so proud of him. But I know the grace of God is at the front of everything. And looking at what he has done through in his life, I am so proud.
Yeah.
I'm so proud, and I thank God for that.
Don has climbed the ranks in his career, but he hopes to one day trade in this work for social work. He's pursuing a degree in that field at SAC.
I want to help guys that was like me. A lot of people don't know that people be going through things and they need people to talk to. You know, they need somebody who can, you know, give them an idea of what they got going on. Especially if somebody had been there. At one point I thought that nobody cared, you know, outside of my family. If I'm given that chance, I want to make it possible for other people to get a chance, you know what I'm saying?
I'm so proud of Don. Coming up at 6:30, we want to show you how making the most of second chances is possible for anyone. We'll take you to the Bexar County Reentry Center to show you the free services they provide. That's coming up in our next half hour.
Well, that is good stuff right there. All right, well, let's get you out to live cam right now and show you maybe a little calm before a storm, if you will. And Adam Caskey's here to break down the storm chances for us looking to the weekend.
Yeah, Friday night, that's the focus for our storm chances. Most of the day Friday, just fine. It's Friday night, especially after sunset and into early Saturday morning is the time frame we're looking at for some widespread showers and thunderstorms. During the day Friday, just a 20% chance. It's especially between about 10 p.m. and midnight, we could see the line move into San Antonio. So here's what we're watching. Notice in California, there's a little counterclockwise swirl to the clouds and showers. That's our next system. That's what's heading our way, this upper level disturbance, that counterclockwise swirl, already throwing some showers into parts of Arizona and New Mexico. And it's going to develop a lot more rain as it moves into Texas and even Oklahoma. Let's fast forward on our futurecast. Quiet day tomorrow. By Friday, most of the day quiet. Notice the noon hour, maybe 1 or 2 little stray showers. That's about it. Even by 7 p.m. and 7:30 p.m., kickoff time for most football games, we should be A-OK in and around Bexar County and surrounding communities and immediate surrounding counties. It's that time around sunset we have to start watching up in the hill country. That's going to be where the showers and storms develop. Big Bend area, hill country. Notice by 10 o'clock, approaching Kerrville, Rock Springs, Bracketville, Del Rio, and then around midnight, give or take, San Antonio. But I do want to say, word of caution, this comes from experience with these systems. They often accelerate the timeline as they start developing and the time gets near. Usually the models are a little slow with them, and quite often we see this. So I'd say be prepared for the onset of the storms, not at midnight, but by 10 p.m. around San Antonio and surrounding areas. And then notice all the way into the wee morning hours of Saturday, pre-dawn hours, heavy rain, frequent lightning and thunder. If your kids or your dogs, cats, pets get spooked by the lightning, thunder, plan for that Friday night on through sunrise on Saturday. Now, Saturday we'll get a break in the action after sunrise, but into the afternoon, we can't rule out some redevelopment out there with some instability and a little bit of leftover energy. We could have some more boomers, just not as many Saturday afternoon and Saturday evening. Overall rainfall accumulations will be highly variable. As usual, that's always the case around here. It's never equal opportunity. It's kind of the rain lottery. But we do think there's going to be pretty decent coverage of about 1 to 3 inches across south central Texas. I know it says 2.4 in San Antonio. Don't take that for exactly what it is. Just think about 1 to 3 inches for several neighborhoods and even some locally higher amounts. So the main headlines Friday night into early Saturday, 1 to 3 inches possible, locally higher amounts because we will have some heavy downpours, and that will lead to some street flooding and the chance for some strong storms as well. Exactly where they'll be, impossible to tell until they develop. Exactly where we could have some street flooding, impossible to know until we start to see those storms on the radar. But the heavy rain, frequent lightning and thunder, and most of it's going to be overnight when people aren't on the roads traveling. But if you are out late Friday night or early on Saturday, you'll need to exercise extra caution. 86 right now, 77 at 10 o'clock, midnight 74. We start the day tomorrow at 68. The humidity is back. Yeah, tomorrow the humidity is going to be thick. 89 the high temperature and a mixture of sun and clouds. Low clouds early, a lot of sun in the afternoon. 90 in Hondo tomorrow, 89 Bulverde, Converse, Seguin, 91. So more of what we've really been experiencing lately. Friday, most of the day just humid, partly cloudy. 20% chance of a shower or storm. It's Friday night on into Saturday we're watching. Then by Sunday, we clear out, dry out. Low humidity on Sunday with that sunshine. Highs still warm in the upper 80s. And, you know, we had a glimmer of hope for a more noticeable front, but it still doesn't look likely now in the foreseeable future here.
Okay.
Not the big fall front we're looking for.
There went the 60.
Yeah, we'll keep waiting.
Right. Thank you, sir.
Adam. All right, Mary, a lot of eyes will be on the Spurs rookies for their debut tonight.
Yeah, if you're not convinced that this is a really awesome matchup yet, this is just the second time since 1966 that the 1 and 2 draft picks are facing off in the season opener. Really exciting. Larry Ramirez will be joining us shortly to preview the matchup, and Larry goes one-on-one with Carter Bryant and the Aaron Fox. You'll hear both after the break.
Nah, he a little too old for my understanding. But definitely, I mean, you see the clips like highlights on YouTube where he played against Jordan in those playoff battles.
Dylan relived his dad Ron Harper's 5 NBA rings on YouTube in Big Board Sports. Victor Wembanyama and the San Antonio Spurs will make their highly anticipated return to the hardwood for the 2025-26 NBA regular season in Dallas tonight. And both the Spurs and Mavericks are down their starting point guards, De'Aaron Fox and Kyrie Irving, and both are missing some forward/center depth. But aside from that, lots of excitement for this matchup. Larry Ramirez joining us again live from American Airlines Center. Hey, Larry.
Yeah, hey, Mary, and good evening, everybody. So we are still some 2 hours away from the Spurs taking on the Mavs up here in Dallas, and it's the first of 4 regular season games between the two sides. Always entertaining contests for sure. Now, the Spurs were loose and having some fun this morning, a shoot-around right here at the AAC ahead of their first game this season. Now, this one has a lot of young star power with the first overall draft pick in Cooper Flagg, the second overall selection in Dylan Harper, and the 14th overall pick in the first round in Carter Bryant. And right after shoot-around, we went one-on-one with Carter, who's excited to hoop tonight. Well, Carter, opening game tonight. How are you feeling right now, man?
I mean, blessed. Blessed is crazy. Obviously, I grew up Riverside, California. Not too many people from there made the jump to be professional basketball players. We have a handful, but, you know, for it to be my first official game, I'm just blessed.
What do you know about this rivalry between the Mavericks and the Spurs?
I mean, I don't know too much about it, but I know it's real serious. And anything with a rivalry, you know, you want to come out on top. So I think our focus for us is just dominating the game, just doing things that are in our control and just executing the game plan. Obviously, Coach Johnson and the rest of the staff have done a great job at just preparing us for this moment, but yeah.
And then last thing, can you imagine your emotions tonight when you're running through the tunnel, hitting the court, warming up, and everybody's out here getting crazy?
I mean, I think you can try to imagine it, but you're not going to know how it feels until you really do it. So I'm just looking forward to it.
Spurs and Mavs will go down tonight at 8:30 right here at the American Airlines Center. And we will have more Spurs Mavs coming up tonight at 7 o'clock streaming on KSAT Sports Now. So make sure to tune in. It is a very fun show. Mary, let's send it back to you in San Antonio.
Thank you so much, Larry. Awesome stuff. Yep, Larry will be joining us again live for KSAT Sports Now beginning at 7 on our streaming platforms. Airing tonight is Larry's full sit-down chat with De'Aaron Fox. Here's a sneak peek.
Hey, Rook, you still going? Hey, Rook, number 11. You know I was calling you. I'm all right.
So, De'Aaron, first of all, what's it like to be a vet and be able to mess with a guy like Bryant like you just did right now during his interview?
It's great, man. For me, before it was Keegan.
And, you know, light-skinned guy. He's from Cali, but Keegan's from Iowa. So it's a little different personalities, but
okay.
great. Both are great people.
So I know the big question with you is, how's your health? You got the hamstring. You're coming back from pinky surgery. How you feeling?
Yeah, I mean, I feel great. I'm in a great spot right now. I think I can play right now, but they're holding me back right now.
Yeah, well, Fox, they are taking it easy with him, not making his debut tonight, but hopefully soon.
All right,
Mary. Very good. Thank you, Mary. Okay.
Very much.
Very good. Quick programming note. I'm going to actually dip out here. I'm going to go MC the Henry Jackson Foundation Heroes of Military Medicine Awards Dinner at the Whitty Museum. So Myra will hold down the fort, and I'll be back at 10 for the night beat.
Very important cause. Yes, Adam and I will take it from here, and we will take you to the Bexar County Reentry Center when we come back. Earlier in the show, we introduced you to Don Christian, a man who is making the most out of his second chance. Well, now we want to show you how that's possible for anyone. The Bexar County Reentry Center helps people who've been incarcerated not only find a job, but start over, literally from scratch. I first went there 3 years ago to share a story about their services. And when I went back recently, I found out that some things have changed.
We just want people to know that not to give up, that people are here. We care about them.
Here at the Bexar County Reentry Center, James Lacey found that care.
So you got out of prison in 2020?
Yes, ma'am.
What was that moment like?
It was scary. I just came home from doing 24 years and a half. And I really didn't know what was going to be next.
What did the Reentry Center help you do?
When I came out, I had just clothes on my back. And the Reentry Center, they helped me get ID, birth certificate, training, clothes. I mean, if it wasn't for them, I don't know if I would even made it.
We're a block away from the jail. You can come here, we'll give you a bag of food if you need a bag of food. You need clothing, you need to find a place to live. And employment.
I first met Aida Negron in 2022. She told me then how her father had been a volunteer chaplain at the Bexar County Jail.
And so he would come home at night and tell us about how God had touched this person's life and now he was going to be getting out, and he was a changed life.
It was that childhood lesson that led to Aida's lifetime of work on helping people get a second chance.
All they have to do is call us. We have walk-ins.
You told me back in 2022 that you had never seen as many employers interested in this second chance population. We were dealing with a labor shortage post-COVID then. How has that changed, or has it?
It is kind of on the decline.
Which is why Aida and her team are connecting their clients to classes and training to help them stand out in a crowded pool of job seekers.
Forklift, using a forklift, or OSHA classes, or OSHA certification, maybe manufacturing skills training.
The Reentry Center also hosts job fairs and accelerated programs like the Pipeline to Success program.
How to create a resume. They learn about AI technology. They also learn etiquette. Interview etiquette. All of the ones that graduated from my class, they received jobs.
I feel like it kind of helped even the playing field as a justice impacted individual. I needed all the help I could get, and it was free.
Free services that have given people like James a second chance and more.
What does having a job mean to you?
Personally, to me, it means I've accomplished change. It's more than just the money. It's a sense of, it's a good feeling to get up and go to work and say, this is what I did for the day.
I've seen it. I've seen people change their lives in a way that is amazing.
So we want to tell you how you can contact the Bexar County Reentry Center. Here is the phone number, 210-335-8281. You heard Aida say that they are located a block from the county jail. They're at 222 South Comal Street, just west of downtown. We have all this information on KSAT.com as well. You can also watch any of our KSAT Explained stories on demand. Just scan the QR code and that will take you to our full library of topics. You can also find them on KSAT.com, YouTube, and the free KSAT Plus app. We'll be right back. You know, funerals are often one of life's biggest and final expenses. Planning ahead can be uncomfortable, but it can save money and help ease the burden on your loved ones. Daphne Gray has some practical advice on how to navigate that process and what to watch out for.
For nearly half a century, Dolores Evans thought her passing would not be a burden for her family. Decades ago, she bought a prepaid funeral plan.
I got that when I was young, thinking I was prepared.
But there was a big problem. Dolores recently found out that she was caught in a scam. She got this letter saying that her prepaid funeral contract is worthless and denied by the funeral home. FBI says that the company behind it stole nearly $500 million from families across 16 states. Well, the fraudsters went to prison more than a decade ago. Dolores recovered just a few $100s and must start over. Today, there are better consumer protections. The Federal Trade Commission now enforces what's known as the funeral rule. The rule makes it possible for consumers to be aware of costs.
Now you have more options than ever before to plan your funeral on any budget.
There are several ways to cover funeral costs. One is a payable on death bank account. Money you set aside for funeral costs can be transferred to someone you trust when you die. Another is final expense insurance, which can pay $5,000 to $25,000. But watch out, premiums may cost more than the benefit, and some policies have a timeline, meaning you must pay for years before it covers the funeral in full. Visit a few local funeral homes and ask about prices and packages. You can select what you want, like a visitation service and care of the body. When you call or visit a funeral home, it must provide a general price list covering goods and services such as embalming and the use of a hearse.
Funeral homes often sell caskets and vaults, but you can shop around. It might sound a little creepy, but you might find a better deal at Costco, Walmart, or even Amazon.
The cost of cremation can range from about $2,000 to more than $6,000. And once your plan is final, be sure to tell your loved ones. Daphne Gray, KSAT 12 News.
So some other costs to be aware of. Cemetery plots can cost $2,000 or more. Headstones can cost another $1,000 to $3,000. And while writing your own obituary might also feel uncomfortable, leaving a list of names that you want mentioned ensures that no one is left out. All right, let's take a look outside with live cam. All the attention and focus on those weekend rain chances. Adam Caskey is going to time out when we're expecting that to arrive at this point. Next. A green light for a wastewater treatment facility that would dump treated sewage into the Helotes Creek watershed that feeds into where San Antonio gets its drinking water. This morning, the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality granted the permits for that facility. This is all part of the controversial Wahalote Ranch development that would bring 3,000 homes to northwest Bexar County, along with the wastewater treatment facility. Opponents who have been fighting this for years now say it is not over yet.
We're going to pursue it legally. We're going to pursue the TCEQ through the legislature for rule changes and sunsetting. We're after conserving the land, and that's what we're going to do.
Bexar County Judge Peter Sakai released a statement today saying he does not agree with the TCEQ's decision and says he will continue to work with residents and fight this. All right, we're talking about those weekend rain chances. And based on the graphic there behind you, we need them so very badly.
Oh, my goodness. We all know the drought conditions and how dry and crunchy everything is out there right now. And it's not just that everything's, dry and grass is kind of looking dead. It's just that also the water beneath us, our aquifer is about 38 feet below average, and our spring flows are way below average as well. So even after this next rain event greens things up, we'll still need more rain. It's been 45 days since we've had more than 1/100th of an inch in the rain gauge officially at the airport. I really think we're going to change that Friday night. During the day Friday, 20% chance, 70% chance of widespread showers and storms Friday night, lasting into early Saturday, and then some possible redevelopment Saturday afternoon. Here's our next system. A pretty aggressive upper level low. It's actually going to get, I think, a little bit stronger and more aggressive as it heads our way. It's already throwing some light showers into parts of Arizona and New Mexico, and parts of the Four Corners seeing some action. This is going to especially develop showers and storms from Oklahoma southward all the way down to almost Laredo as we get into Friday night and Saturday. It's a pretty wound up system, and it's going to have good energy lift to take care of our instability and turn the instability and moisture into showers and storms. Here's the Futurecast, one of our high resolution models. And remember, these are far from perfect. This will change quite a bit in the days or in the next about day and a half or so. But I do want to point out, I like how it's showing just a few pop-up showers around noon on Friday. I think most of Friday is going to be dry. You have the green light. Even around kickoff time for high school football in and around Bexar County, we should be A-OK. And I think the onset of the storms would be just after most of the football games, if not all of them locally. Now notice the line of storms, 10 o'clock, Del Rio, Rock Springs, Brackettville, up toward about Kerrville and Mountain Home. And then this model has it getting here around 12:30 a.m. downtown San Antonio. I do want to point out quite often we see these systems accelerate and move in sooner than anticipated. So check back for the updates and be prepared for this line of storms to move in by 10 p.m. in San Antonio, obviously earlier in the Hill Country, later south and east of town. But bottom line, it's Friday night, some embedded heavy rain. Can't rule out a stray strong to severe thunderstorm, localized wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour. And there could be some isolated hail, but mostly we're looking at heavy rainfall and the off chance of a few high gusts and localized street flooding. And then notice Saturday afternoon, some redevelopment quite possible because we're not quite done with that upper system, and we'll have some instability still into Saturday afternoon. Rainfall totals, overall beneficial. I mean, not drought busting and barely or even drought denting, but you have to start somewhere. We think that there will be several areas of about 1 to 3 inches of rain. And as usual, it's not going to be equal opportunity. The overall accumulations will be highly variable. Sometimes a matter of 5 miles is a difference of 5 inches of rainfall. And I think we'll see that again with this system, the high variability of the rain. Tropical storm Melissa, it's in the Caribbean, likely to become a banger of a hurricane here as we get into the weekend and early next week. Could even become a Cat 4 as it drifts in the Caribbean and just south of Jamaica. Tomorrow morning, upper 60s and humid. The low clouds early, maybe a little bit of fog too. 82 at noon, then near 90 for the high temperature. So more of what we've been experiencing with the highs near 90 and the noticeable humidity. Friday is going to be the same. Then we get into the weekend, and by Sunday we clear out with low humidity and upper 80s, Myra.
All right, Adam. Thank you. We'll be back right after this. All right, Spurs and Mavs tonight, but first, KSAT Sports Now. Mary Rominger is live in the newsroom with a look ahead to that big matchup and a whole lot more, Mary.
Yes, here's what's coming up on KSAT Sports Now at 7 o'clock on KSAT Plus and KSAT.com. So we're just under 2 hours out from opening tip-off between the Spurs and the Mavericks. Larry Ramirez will join us again live from Dallas. We've been talking about all of the major headlines for tonight's season opener for San Antonio, but there's more that we're going to break down, including we'll skip ahead to Know Your Foe. We'll see what we can expect from rookie Cooper Flagg, the #1 overall pick in this summer's draft. And, you know, we've been talking about it. The Spurs have their own top pick on their side. One-on-one, we go with De'Aaron Fox. Larry Ramirez sat down with Fox on Spurs Media Day in a great conversation. We hear how he's enjoying being in San Antonio after spending his whole NBA career in Sacramento, and how he is handling all of that came with the season-ending injury that he had to repair his pinky finger. That and a lot more coming up. Also, Scholar Athlete of the Week. It's a great one. So be sure to tune in. That's all coming up at 7 o'clock. It's Spurs game day, everyone. Get excited. Be sure to join us. We'll be right back after the break.
Friday night, of course, the focus for the showers and storms. Heavy rain, frequent lightning, thunder, even the chance of a strong to severe storm or two. Then we clear out Sunday, and next week, there were some indications we could have a real front. Right now, that's looking unlikely. Still, sorry.
Thank you, Adam. Thanks for watching the news at 6. We'll see you